Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are actually going to be taking a look at one of the foundation decks. Actually, we should be checking the store because they did say that they're going to be selling other decks soon. I'm gonna check which ones are up here. Okay, you actually see the decks here. So these are two that I still am yet to get. Oh wait, no. These are different. Oh, these are very different. I'm actually way behind. So they're actually releasing a lot more decks. So I am going to start going through as many of these as I can. So this one's a bit on the backlog, and so let's go through the backlog here. What's on our backlog? Also, very interesting. Mokhtar has followed. Thank you for following. I did not expect to see that. Anyway, so one of the first, they did give two decks that are meant for standard. We'll take a look at the cheaper one, which is called the Foundation Deck. Now, the idea here is supposedly that you're going to be upgrading this quite a bit. A lot of things are planned to change out. So this is what it looks like from scratch. I would note that I definitely like the Hammer Skull into Raptor into Palani's Hatcher. What I don't like is that we require a lot of removal if we don't hit our drops. Ixali's Lore Keeper is okay, but these get killed right quickly and they become very useless near the end. And our mana base 4 tap lands, 6. So we got 10 lands at ETB tap, which is okay if we hit them on turn 1, but the problem is we're probably going to hit a lot of these, and we really want to curve up to 5. And also our top end is this Palani's Hatcher, which is not that great as a top end here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a few games on standard play. And actually, I did some testing here. It's really rough for this deck on standard play. If you don't hit your curve, or if you don't hit the removal that you need, or if you get stonewalled in any way, you kind of lose. The only card draw here per se are the few copies of Volcanic Spite. So it's not really much card draw. It's more like bin this card that you're never going to use for hopefully a card that you're going to need. So we're taking quite a few risks here. So this one, at least we get into we get into multiple 2 drops and have some removals an option, but we're otherwise racing to hit our mana. Usually the issue with green red is hitting that mana. So that said, we hit the Belligerent Ear. I could just lead on the Burning Sun Cavalry because we're probably not going to, but this is probably the weakest of the bunch here. One is going Skrell's Hive, so we might be able to outpace our opponent. So this one's going to be a quick rush here. But usually if this is any flavor of mono white, okay, so I probably want to do the other one here. Opponent's going to end up drawing a card for free with this one. Yeah, do that. That's a non-issue. We can hold on to the Chomp as well. So I expect, especially when Foundations comes out and we have Wrath of God, I can expect a board wipe of sorts. Let's see also how does our opponent stabilize here? It's presumed that they're gonna play a creature. Okay, now they're coming out with the blockers. So we can snipe one, hold, and snipe the other, then we can go for it. So we're gonna see here. We're gonna go for this one right away. Our opponent can gain some life, so they're not dead yet. And nope, Resolute Reinforcements. So we'll see if they draw a card. We'll see if they choose to double block one. They will. So we definitely want to keep Palani's Hatcher at this point, so we're gonna snipe this. There's an argument for maybe keeping this in case. Yeah, let's keep it. So opponent goes down to 1 and goes down to 0. Oh, Oh, they needed to hold. Okay, they technically could have saved themselves, but they forgot to turn on. They forgot to turn on the full control. They had a way to prevent that from killing them. So that was honestly a bit of an aberration. Normally, we would be expecting red-white. We would be expecting Brotherhoods and temporary lockdown ways to clear the board. Opponent did not happen to have any of them, so we actually got there. We also didn't play any of our big dinos at that point as well. Still managed to get there. I'm already trying to see how do we make adjustments for here, because I can see places. I can see where we could be start having problems here. That said, this one's fine. We have 4 of these Triumphant Chomps, which are sorcery speed, but they hit really hard. But we only have 2 shocks, which is something to consider as an issue here. This is also a bit of a sketchy one because, like, say, I can play Burning Sun Cavalry turn 2 or hold up Volcanic Fight. We need a land for this one. When it goes Mistreat Elder, I don't really have anything better to do, and I don't want this to grow anymore. We'll just snipe it right away. But we have a lot of options for upgrading the mana base. When it goes Pawn Prophet. So this is where things get really interesting. We hit the Bristly Backwoods, so we'll play the Burning Sun Cavalry first, just to have a body on the board. But honestly speaking, yeah, our mana base being full of these ETB tap lands. This is going to be the first thing that we will upgrade. Shower Druid. Oh, they're actually putting it there. I would argue for putting it here, but they probably have the Hunter's Talent or some sort of fight effect. That would be why they would put it here. If they're offering the trade, I will take the trade. They might just have another Pawn Prophet. No, it's a 3/3 strike. So I'm not gonna wait for this to start growing, but I could probably wait for a better target. We'll bin one Kalani's Hatcher. That's usually not the back anyway. I would probably adjust the curve here. Like, we have probably too many of these 5-drops for a deck that has a really low to mid curve. We're still running 24 lands in this out of the box. So we really need to hit our turn 4. This one is fine, but it's a bit on the slow side. We probably want to be looking for these that... Okay, we at least hit this one. That's good news. And this only deals damage to Planeswalkers or battles, so... Okay, opponent's gonna start going white. 3/3 Scribe, but no way of bouncing it. We can hold up the mana to do +2/+0. Splash Portal. Okay, so these two grow. And all the advantages start coming in. Our opponent, I would not be surprised if our opponent dumped everything here. I will still swing with this. I would still trade. If our opponent doesn't trade, they just take the damage. I just dump Hammerskull's Lord Keeper. I don't mind take. Okay, opponent's actually just gonna take. Ixali's Lord Keeper being off very vulnerable is a bit of an issue. I would much rather have much rather have these guys take out land, grab lands from the deck. Something like a Clifftop Lookout is a very good effect. I'm trying to remember if there's a similar effect in Dinosaurs. I don't think so. But the other issue is really the lack of card draw. So opponent's gonna hit us for a bunch. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll take 8. And they used up all their cards for that, so... We're good when we hit our mana. It's problematic when we don't. That said, at least we know the top end here is 5 mana. I was thinking if we should probably add some of the other big creatures like the Voltborn Tyrant. You probably want those when you have a way to cheat them in. In a fair deck like this, it's a bit of a question mark. Let's see what our opponent's follow-up is. They might now be on the defensive at this point. Depends on what they have, like, here. Polywallop to fight that, that's fine. We can block with this one. This one's kind of a free block. I actually won't be surprised if our opponent, they have the mana here, but they can't. If they activate this gets tapped also. So this is a non-go. If they were planning on activating this, they really should not have Polywallop. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a little less damage. Yeah, super risky in that one. We do have our own Restless Ridge, but we don't need it now. There you go. We can... Though this one's a case of we kind of drew it all. The frogs needed more interaction. Like they only had like one fight effect and one bounce effect. They needed more removal. They probably wanted counter spells to that effect as well. That would have been that would be something I would really consider adding on here. But enough about their deck. As far as our deck's concerned, yeah, we got 2 wins right off the bat, but I did some testing previous. There are quite a few issues here, but definitely the first thing we're gonna fix is the mana base. Now, at the time of this recording, we know Duskmourn will have lands that they enter untapped, they tap for 1 color, they only tap for the 2nd color if you have the other land type. So if I'm not mistaken, it's taps for a red, it taps for a green if you control a forest. So we would definitely be upgrading all of these we would definitely be upgrading all of these lands for the most part. Cavern of Souls is a definitely important hit. This deck is super weak to control for the most part. And our opponent also fell off the face. So we're also gonna use this point to start counting how many rares, how many mythics does a Foundation deck have. Yeah, I can already foresee that with the worst cases, we're just going to be doing a lot of these. Now, if you've been playing long enough, 4 of the land upgrades would be free. It's basically just Fabled Passage. Also, it was fine. Our opponent really needed a lot more interaction. So let's go over this one, see how do we improve this. Then we'll play a few games on ranked this time. Pretty much for this series I have to wait until I hit platinum, then we can start playing ranked there. Then we're probably still gonna get domed quite a bit here. So we're going to clone this deck. Then we're going to make our adjustments here. So first off, we're gonna do a rare count. So right off the bat, 4, 8, 12 rares, and 14 rares. 2 of them in land. No. 15, 16, 17 rares. 18 rares. Okay, so we've got 18 rares, no mythics. So first thing we're gonna do is because we don't exactly have synergies with this. We're actually going to we're going to cut the 4 of these. We're going to add 4 rares right away in the form of, we're going to add 4 rares right away in the form of Fabled Passage. Then we should probably fill out the Carplucent Forest here also, so probably cut the 4 Rugged Highlands. So we're adding probably 1 more Carplucent Forest, then 2 Cavern of Souls. So last one was 14, 18, 19, 19 and 2 Mythics. Then now we're gonna do a sanity check on the rest of our cards here. Unfortunately, if we're going for the dinosaur route, it's very hard to find dinosaurs that are on the cheap end. Like, we already put these are the first things I want to replace. Unfortunately, we don't have any cheap dinos. However, we do have an alternate option. Intrepid Paleontologist gives us another ramp target and also gives us a long game. So I would actually just put 2 of these. I'd sub out the Burning Sun Cavalry at this point. Let's just take all 3 of them out. There's a Huatli Poet of Unity, and we can play this even in green-red. This one allows us to search for a land, and it does give us a long-term game. Another way to get long-term game, we would probably have Armored Kincaller. Trumpeting Carnosaur is also a good one, especially with Discover 5 hitting everything else. It also gives us some early removal. So we definitely will add 2 of these. Rampaging Raptor is fine. It's just, I might want to start cutting down on these 4s. There's also the Witch Stalker Frenzy that's an issue here. Sure, it takes out 5 drops. But would I rather just have a fight spell over it? The Palani's Hatcher is fine, but we also want to consider Bornhorde Dracosaur. This one gives us a way to draw as well. So I would cut 1 Hatcher. No, we should prioritize cheaper cards first. Unfortunately, we already put all the good cheap cards in. Maybe we could put another Paleontologist. If we're ambitious, we can have I would probably say another Carnosaur would be a good one. There's Tranquil Frillback from the Aftermath set. This one gives us quite a bit of utility. You can just play this as a 3 mana for 3, but it gives you quite a lot of other options. I would put at least 1 of these in. So I'd still definitely keep the 6/6s, that's for sure. Definitely cutting 1 rampaging. There's a Invasion of Ixalan allows us to draw a card into hand, gives us a then gives us a dinosaur on the return. That's fine. Hulking Raptor gives us mana every time. That's also kind of fine. We did say the issue is that we're missing card draw. Voltborn Tyrant gives us quite a bit of card draw, but this is a 7 drop. Galta just this is really more something you cheat in. There's an Invasion of Ikoria. Search your library for mana value, put it in the battlefield. If you search for a library this way, shuffle. So non-human creature, unfortunately. So we're not getting our Paleontologist or Lord Keeper this way. So this one's a bit ambitious here. We also have a Rampaging Geogerm. Yeah, 4 mana, 3/3 target creature. If it's cute. It's a 4 mana 3/3 haste that becomes a 4/4 haste. I'm not gonna max out the ridge lines here because again we're having issues with hitting our curve. We could add a Sahili's Lattice as a way to draw cards, and we can craft as a way to kind of draw cards. So that is an additional option. Also of note, we could, if we're worried about life gain, Giant Cindermaw is a great add. We can probably yeah, we could probably do things like cut down, and it does have haste, so that's a thing. And we also haven't found a real replacement for our burn spells. Like Witchstalker Frenzy, we can cast for 1 if our opponent attacks with enough. I'm curious, what are the other red-green spells that are decent options here? I would say Ruby is another ad. It's also it's another mana dork that we can use. It's also uncommon, so it's not that expensive. We can use Invasion of Urgamon as a way to accelerate, get treasure. Though the payoff is that when it enters you, this payoff is you get a land card, so that's a bit weak. There's not Mayra, but there is the mentors are an interesting one. In fact, well, Muera, if we do this, it's only just adding 1 mana for each raccoon, but we are regularly expending 4. So it's a good way to gain life and not die right away. Samut is interesting if we go more into the haste plan, but that's pretty much just Iskint and Rampaging Raptor. We don't have that much in the way of unless you combine it with, say, Cactus Folk Sure Shot. Yaru's other creatures you control have haste. That's one way to give everyone haste. Otherwise, the other payoffs are not that great. Miglaw's Maze Crusher, but that's getting a bit off team already. I guess Wandertail Mentor kind of counts as a mana dork. It's something that grows as well. We can replace the Ixali's Lorekeeper with this. Hajar, unfortunately, we don't have that many legendary creatures. Yeah, what we need to do, we need to go back and look for our damage source. We're looking for something that can deal 5 and replace the Witchstalker Frenzy, but there's honestly not. There are many. If we're willing to have it hit 4 instead of 5, we have quite a few replacements there. I could just sub for Lightning Strike as a way to just get damage through. Also, I don't think there's a good replacement for Shock right now. The usual one has already rotated. Torch the Tower if you're afraid of things coming back, but that's kind of... No, there is a reason to sub this for cheaper ones. Especially when Duskmourn comes out, we're going to have that one deck with a potential turn 2. So you do want to have cheaper removal right away. Unfortunately, that pretty much leaves us with just Torch the Tower or Shock. I would definitely still keep the Volcanic Spikes, but yeah, we're pretty much all in on Shock here. If it's just the versus 5, then we're just gonna hope that we hit our big creatures. So we're gonna start with this one. So we did a few changes. Check the description, see if we'll check the description, see which one goes. We'll test one out in standard play, then we'll go to standard rank. So we'll test this one out. I should definitely next time change the picture so I don't mix these two up. The alternate plan is that we cut out all the cheap ones, we just go into control. The problem with that control plan is that we just lost Burn Down the House. I don't think Red has a good sweeper right now. Because you really need a sweeper of that sort in order to make it work. Anyway, we do have our turn 2 into a potential turn 4, so we'll go into that one. Probably gets removed. Oh yeah, we should also okay, of note, when those lands from Duskmourn come out, these lands come in. Yes, they ETB tap, but they provide a good source. Yep, this was expected. It was probably a good argument for playing this one first, but We're up against a control deck that can really take advantage of our creatures, so this is going to be very problematic for us. One's actually 4, might be a 5-color deck. Shard, of course. Draw, discard. This is definitely Reanimator. Okay, we at least hit our Cavernous Soul, so main Dinosaur. Start hitting hard. I'm actually need to do a double check. This one only gets creatures back. Okay, so our opponent is really planning to get us at the end here. So just a virtue, that's fine. The life gain is annoying though. I could exile the graveyard, but there's nothing to get back. We most likely just pay. Just destroy this one before they could mill anymore. Ooh. Okay. They're definitely that combo deck. Yeah, we probably want to have more of these now if we're gonna start seeing these decks. Opponent is too... Opponent is playing the Flying Vigilance. We can Volcanic Spike that. In fact, I probably want to do that. We've probably been a Carnosaur here. Ignatius Hammerstone is fine. This one is only target creature or planeswalker. So that's probably an argument for, say, subbing some of these Volcanic Spikes with Lightning Strikes. Going face is probably a lot better in this instance. Let's see if our opponent has the Deadly Cover up. Nope, they're tapping it for colorless, so they don't. Tranquil Thrill back. That will net them live. So they gain the 4 life. So we shock them in for 7. And we'll just chop this one. And we managed to get there barely. We barely survived that one. Now, but that was off the back of having a really decent curve. That said, I'm still willing to keep the Volcanic Spike for now, but I can see an argument for swapping it out with... Lightning Strike. Because you kind of want to have the extra reach. Eventually, your opponent snowballs you, but you get them in life low enough. So that is a decent option. The Volcanic Spike does have value in the sense that it is able to... It can still hit Planeswalkers, but it's able to cycle your draws. So that's something to note. This one is this one's a bit awkward. This is so whether we keep or not keep depends on the land. So in this case, we'll keep it like this first. We're definitely gonna sack. I am concerned also, but at this rate, we are going to probably just play Saheeli's Lattice. Volcanic Spike is also an option, but this one may or may not survive. I definitely want to keep these though. We'll bin one Hammer Skull. Yep, missing lands. We are still running 24 lands, but this is still a bit scary for us. When it does play out the Fabled Passage, are they a 3-color deck? Yeah, they're actually black-white. Let's make them start playing removal. Or they may choose not to. Soul Search reveals their hand, choose a non-land card. Oh, we should have played the Paleontologist. We just opted not to right away. They could take the Lore Keeper to give themselves a 1/1 Spirit, which is appealing as a target because they could also just take the Hatcher, though we are kind of a ways away. If they're scared of our creatures, yeah, I would just take one of the 3-drops. And the Virtue of Persistence, there we go. And we'll just play these out. Now this time our opponent is very likely to hit their 7. That said, we want to play this Intrepid Paleontologist kind of late. We did not hit the land, we hit the Triumphant Shock. And we are gonna pay this cost, yes. And we're actually going to exile our own graveyard here. Basically, we're going to deny them from getting anything here. If they want to get something, they have to do it themselves. Sure, we deny our Intrepid Paleontologist, but the creatures we want are actually still in our hand right now. Yeah, we also kind of denied this one, but we're kind of a ways away from this. I'm most likely trying to hit the land. Well, we did not hit the land. We did hit the Paleontologist. So we're gonna attack first, see what our opponent does. Now let's see what removal they have for this. If they go for another one of these, we can just well, we can't. Not right now, actually. We are missed. That is the big weakness of this one. Sure, it gives us 1 mana of any color. We'll probably lose a Palani's Hatcher at this point. That's expected. They can respond to this by kill. They can respond to this by killing this, so we still get the 2 eggs. And Shoot the Sheriff seems to be the new flavor. So when our opponent hits 7 mana, well, technically we have a turn after that. They do hit an Aquasauce though. This is power among dinosaurs you control, so I could just play. No, I would only be able to play 1 anyway. So let's just play this. Sack 1. Opponent finally hits their 6 mana. Sure, they swing at us. Opponent discards a card. Yeah, we'll discard the Volcanic Spike. They might have a board wipe. Yeah, this is pretty much our weakness. If we're not able to get a good early start, then our opponent gets to control. We definitely want to have more Tranquil Frillback, so this is definitely a recommended add. I was considering Armored Kincaller for life. So they are at 7 mana now. I kind of have no choice but to crack this one for crack this one. But yeah, we can consider this as a game over for us. Well, we hit our land, but now our opponent's gonna start getting stuff from our yard, and we can't really do anything. And this is only sorcery speed. I would love to have been able to craft in response, but that's not happening. Yeah, so definitely we want to have more Tranquil Frillbacks. We want If you don't have the Tranquil Frillbacks, trashing Brontodon is also legit. Is also legit as well. So time to craft a few more. Time to craft a few more rares for this. I like the Lattice. That one's fine. I'll sub out the 2 Volcanic Spikes. I did say I was gonna get Lightning Strike, and I kind of still agree with that. The Saheeli's Lattice, it may or may not. That's the thing. I'm gonna cut one Lore Keeper actually. Probably add another Frill back. We can probably cut one Iskin. It is legendary after all. Okay, we should also do a count. So formerly it was like so our final count, you know, let's add one more Copperline Gorge. We can cut one Forest now. So our final count 4, 6, 8, 12 plus 2 mythics, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 27, 29 rares, and 2 mythics. So, and we could probably go all the way up to 30 here. Like we could replace this with one more. I could say cut a Lightning Strike for this one. Have more dinosaurs. Or cut the Triumphant Chomp. Or cut the Triumphant Chomp for that. That's also an option as well. Bonehorde Dracosaur is also an option that draws us cards. So you could, if you have those, that's also a good one to add. We'll probably just do one more game with this one. But is this a good foundational deck? It's a foundational deck that is going to start losing support as more sets come out. Mostly because the next few sets don't have dinosaurs on the line, so dinosaurs as a tribe is going to start getting shortchanged a bit. This one's a bit sketchy. We have the early shocks. We have a Triumphant Chomp if we need to, but we need to hit our lands. I'm still gonna keep it though. But yeah, if we don't keep the proper hands, we're in serious trouble. We have really awkward curves. I could see an argument for cutting some of these down in favor of other creatures. We'll let them take one because we can easily get this one back. I might consider saving the Triumphant Chomp though because well, not quite yet. If their next play is a Glissa, let's select one right now. Yeah, we're actually this was super sketchy for the most part. No cap, not gonna lie. Sentinel to name the city. That one dodges. That's a problem here. And we could not. Okay, we'll have to do this again. That one was super weird. No. But we did keep an honestly sketchy hand there. It's definitely an argument for cutting our curve to even lower because we are not ramping. We did not add any more lands to the deck. 24 is not enough if you're trying to hit 5s and 6s on time. With no real card draw. So as a lesson, we're looking for 3 land hands or 4 land hands. Okay, maybe 4 land hands is a bit scary because you're afraid to draw. This one we're keeping. We got the turn 1 Lore Keeper into the turn 3 Hammer Skull. Opponent probably has a way to nuke it, but we still have to go for it. Then we do have the turn 2 Iskin. We'll see if our opponent snipes it. Also, I also note that we haven't played ranked at all. We're still in standard play, but we're hit. Yeah, opponent probably has a combo deck here, so let's keep an eye out. They might also just have the removal for this. Bounce to owner's hand, sure. So opponent's definitely playing the mill game here. But what are they trying to mill into? If they remove the lore keeper, I'm perfectly fine with. Oh no, it's definitely a mill deck of sorts. We're definitely getting a second green here. Though exiling a player's graveyard actually probably beneficial for us because it looks like our opponent is into self-mill. Yeah, they're into self-mill, so...
All your hopes and dreams were for nothing.
That's our game! Now they can start again, but that's where we have the second. That's where we hold back on this. When they kind of got too greedy on the self-mill plan. Tranquil Thrill back really caught them by surprise there. Ooh, they're still milling. Do they have a good target? They have a Lumra, so that's a good target for them. They can't cast it right away, so I might just nuke it. Is it too early? Well, not anymore. Now that they did the Whale of the Forgotten, it's not early anymore. I'm willing to fill back again. And there, that's enough to get them to concede. Maybe we should bump that up to 4. Well, that's on you at this point. That's for you to decide. There are a lot of mill strategies right now, so that is definitely an option. But that is pretty much the foundation deck for dinosaurs. Is it really good? It's questionable. It could be okay. It's definitely better than how my camera is handling colors. It's really messed up. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Check out the changes in the description. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.